In this training video, I'll be showing you how to create a simple drum loop pattern. Now the first thing you have to do is to get the tempo of the project you want to work on. Now to adjust the tempo of your project, move your mouse to this panel here. You see the tempo button is displayed on the screen here. So when you move your mouse here, it shows you an arrow that can either go up or go down. Going up means you're increasing the tempo, going down means you're reducing the tempo. So let's reduce the tempo of the project to 102. To reduce it, click and hold down and then drag your mouse wheel down to 102, giving you the tempo of the project you want to work on. Beside it here is what is the metronome. The metronome indicates how slow or how fast the project we are working on is. When you press play, you can hear the metronome ticking. Okay, so to create a simple drum loop on this tempo, the first thing we do is select our instrument. On FL Studio, it comes with a default instrument panel which shows your kick, your clap, your hat and your snare. This panel here is called the step sequencer. To display it on your screen, move your mouse wheel here. Watch the screen here, it's able to indicate step sequencer when I place my mouse on it. So to turn it on and off, it comes on. So to create a simple drum pattern, come to the browser here to select an instrument. Now let's select an instrument. Under the hip hop section we have the bass drum. Let's select under the new hip hop, we have the bass drum here. Okay, so to select, click on it, drag and paste into your step sequencer like that. So let's create a simple drum based on the tempo of the project. So press play. So let's play the hat too. So turn down the volume of the hat. Now this gives us a very basic simple drum pattern that we can play. Now to do this, to create a simple drum loop, we have to play 4 patterns to give us a complete bar of the drum sample. To play 4 patterns, you have to come to the playlist of the project. This graph here is called the timeline of the playlist. You have to paint each pattern into the playlist. Now to paint, select the playlist you want to paint, click on the draw button and then paint into the timeline. Paint 4 of it. Make sure that the patterns are being played on the thick lines on the graph. Now to create a complete drum sample, we need to create a snare roll. We have a snare here, but let's select another snare based from the hip hop sample that we have here. Let's use this. You click, drag and then you paste. Now for us to play on the end of the 4th bar to create a snare roll, change your pattern to 2. To change the pattern, come to the pattern selector and increase your pattern to 2. When that is done, come and paint it into your timeline and then select the last 4 bar by clicking on the select button here and select the last bar so you can create a snare roll and then press your play. So it's not, snare roll is not done. We want to create a snare roll that is okay. So we want to create a snare roll. The timing of the snare roll cannot be gotten from the step sequencer, so we come to the piano roll. This is the piano roll. To come to the piano roll, right click on the instrument and click piano roll. Piano roll allows you to play out more sounds that has very short timings in between the patterns. Now if you watch the lines here, they are thick lines and they are thin lines. So to create more roll, we want to play more patterns in between these lines. So to duplicate this 2 track, these two notes, you click, select it, hold down your shift button with your mouse and drag like that, and then move like that, and then we want to shorten the notes to give us a shorter roll. So, and then we click on, hold down your shift button, click on it, and then you drag. So on the pattern, you click on the pattern to hear the snare pattern. So that's what you have when you play out the drum pattern. So in the last bar, so to come to play the pattern, you have this. So that's a simple drum pattern. Let me teach you one more trick before I end this training video. I'm going to be teaching you a trick that is called vocal chopping. We are going to put a voice, an audio sample into the drum loop, and then we're going to stutter it along with the drums of the project. Now let's select a voice here. Feel the power of Colo. Okay, now we select the voice and then we drag and put on the playlist. Notice that this time around we are not putting on the playlist, we're not putting on the step sequencer, we are putting on the playlist. Although automatically when you put on the playlist, it comes into the step sequencer where you can reduce or increase the volume of the sound. So when I press play, you hear this. Feel the power of Colo. So what we want to do is we want to start at the last part of the audio sample to go along with the drums. So I'm going to be placing the sound on every white bar that you see here. Now the graph does not allow me to able to place the audio sample in between the lines. So I'm going to increase the lines on the graph. I go to my snap and then I select 1/4 of the beat. Now this gives me more room to be able to place sounds in between my bars. So let me drag this to the beginning of the bar. So reduce this to give me an effect that so for me to paste this chopped vocals on all the sample, I click on the select button, I select the chopped voice, and then I hold down my shift also, and then click and drag like that. So let me create the voice chops to move along with the snare. What I simply do is click and try to stutter, duplicate it more, and then let's have this like that. So let's hear how it will sound if it will make some good music to our ears. Okay, so this is just a simple illustration of how to create a drum sample with vocals chopped into it to give you an hip-hop drum pattern.